All right, what's going on, guys? I want to talk about today how society has been slowly been conditioned and been groomed for what we read about and what we've studied about in the book of Revelation for years now. We didn't wake up one morning and get here. This has been a slow process. It's been a progression of technological advances. And now the greatest tool that's being used to progress this is artificial intelligence, no doubt about that. So hang in there today because I want to show you a lot of stuff I think you're going to find interesting.
The following program is brought to you by friends and partners of End Time Headlines.
All right, what's going on, guys? It is Saturday, November 23rd. This is the final weekend before we head into Thanksgiving week. It's hard to believe, but this Thursday will actually be Thanksgiving. That means, guys, we're literally a little over a month left of 2024. Can you believe that? We're getting ready to go headlong thrust into 2025. So I know many of you guys will be heading out perhaps this weekend. You'll be traveling, you'll be flying, you'll be driving, whatever that looks like for you. And we acknowledge that. And we ourselves will be traveling. I will be heading out Monday morning. But we'll be flying out to Virginia ourselves, and we'll be there the whole week and be back next weekend. So I figured we come on today, and we'll probably come on tomorrow and give a quick update since we didn't come on last night. We typically broadcast on Friday nights, but we had some things come up. Being that we're traveling out of town, we had to get things ready and prepared for that. So there's a lot of moving and shaking of things going around and adjusting schedules. But nevertheless, we're here, and it's the weekend, and we hope everybody's having a great time and a good, safe weekend. And if you are heading out, we pray the Lord's blessing and safe travels with you. Listen, guys, before we get started on today's topic, go ahead and do me a favor, hit that like button. Help us get eyes on this, get it on this podcast, get it on our ministry. And if you guys like to keep up with us on social media platforms, Rumble, YouTube, whatever platform you may be following, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. And then above and beyond all of that, why don't you go ahead and get our free app? It's available on Apple and Android devices. It is absolutely free. Download it today. Hit yes to push notifications right there at your fingertips. Every headline, every podcast, breaking news, prophecy viewpoints, everything's going to be right there at your fingertips. So what are we going to talk about today? Again, as you heard at the introduction of this, we're going to pull up some video clips. We've got some articles to talk about. And the advancement of AI. This is going to kind of be a little update on this because we've many times or at least our ministry has updated you many times on the advancement of this technology and why we believe that it is leading to the fulfillment of Revelation 13, the image of the beast that will be introduced by the false prophet by the hands of hand-selected individuals that he will pick out across the earth who will create this thing that will be empowered by Satan to speak and live and cause people to worship it. Okay, so I'm going to start out. I'm going to show you this. This is a new survey by Study Finds, quote, 4 in 10 people have not made new friends in over a year. Again, according to a new study, they're calling this a social crisis. 4 out of 10 individuals. So think about that. Look at the chat that you're watching right now. 4 out of 10 of those individuals in that chat has likely not made any new friends in over a year. And guys, if this is you, if you're part of this group, if you make up this group of not have been able to find any new friends in the past year or longer, hit yes or a Y. You can hit a Y and hit no. Again, if you've made new friends, don't hit Y, hit no. But if you've not made any new friends over the past year, as this article states here, this new report, then hit Y. We'd love to hear from you. All right, social isolation didn't stop with the pandemic, and a concerning new poll finds many Americans are still starving for human contact in 2024. Specifically, researchers found that more than a third of Americans, look at that, a third of Americans feel their social life is, quote, stuck in a rut. The survey of over 2,000 adults who have traveled with friends in the past also found that 39% have not made a new friend in over a year, and a similar percentage hasn't gone to a party in at least 6 months, 38%. For many, it's also been at least a year since they've gone to a concert with a friend or been on vacation with them. The poll finds that while most would describe their existing friendships as fun and ever-changing, a quarter of respondents believe their social lives feel repetitive. Thinking about the friends they do have, the average individual who said they have a best friend would knight 2 of their lucky friends with that title. Quote, friends are forever for 8 in 10 who said they've had the same friends with someone for at least 10 years. Or in other words, they've been friends with one individual or a group of individuals for the same friends for 10 years. This is 81% of those who were polled. However, making time is difficult. The average respondent has only spent enough one-on-one time with their friends 7 times within the last year. Americans are in need of a social refresh, as only 21% said they spend most of their time with their close friends above others in their lives. When they do get together, those surveyed admitted they're bored of classic hangouts like getting drinks, going shopping, or binge watching television shows or movies. Still, half of respondents often leave their friends feeling like they didn't even spend enough time together. A majority of Americans miss their friends, with 76% expressing their wish to spend more quality time together. Now, guys, we could go, oh man, how many different ways can we go with this? We could talk about the nostalgic aspect of this. Again, for my age, I'm 47. January 17th, I'll be 48. I came out of the 90s era. Really the 80s and 90s. I came out of the era where there was no phones, smartphones, I'm sorry. There was no smartphones. There was no internet at one time. And I believe it was the greatest time to be alive because you actually socialized with individuals, you communicated with them, you hung out with them, you spent quality time with them, you got to know them better. When you hung out with individuals, whether you go out to eat, whether you do this or you go outside, you enjoyed outdoors, you had one-on-one communication with them. And man, has times changed. And it's almost depressing when you look back, whether it be your scrapbook or I know on either on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, there's certain creators that will create these nostalgic videos where they'll put together this montage of just different clips, whether it be from their own personal home videos and of their life growing up, or they just pick them out from the internet and they put them together and put some music with it. And it's very nostalgic. And you see these people, like for example, I saw one where it was a group of high schoolers and it was like the graduating class or the senior class of 1997 or 95 or 94. And it's like you see all these individuals and they're all sitting in this room and there's not a single smartphone, no tablets, no phones. Nobody's looking at devices. Nobody's looking at electronic devices. They're all communicating with one another. They're talking to one another. Now, and you say, well, what's this got to do with what we're going? Well, I'm going there. I believe all of this, again, as I said at the introduction of this, it's been a slow process. With the introduction of computers, the introduction of smartphones, the introduction of internet, all of this has completely isolated society. No doubt about that. I think it has done far more damage than it has good, in my opinion. And what has happened with multiple events, the pandemic, just society becoming more and more isolated, and then watch this, to make things worse, and in my opinion, to capitalize on this, here comes the introduction of AI and even these new Tesla robots that, remember, Elon Musk has promised that every household will have one of these things in their home. And of course, you knew celebrities were going to jump on this. For example, let me show you this. All right, so this made headlines in entertainment news. New photos surfaced showing Kim Kardashian holding hands with Tesla robot. Quote, "This is so weird." Again, this is from Futurism. Here's the image. Let me clear all this stuff off, guys. Sorry. Here's the image. Here's her own personal Tesla robot. There she is in the picture. And then here's a picture here on X where, again, she's holding the hand of this stupid robot. Let me go back. I want to go back to, and again, according to the report, international celebrity Kim Kardashian has shared a strange series of pictures showing her hanging out and engaging in just a touch of PDA with a Tesla Optimus humanoid robot sitting inside a cyber cab. The provocative series of photos, clearly intended to market her shapewear line, didn't quite hit the mark with her audience on Instagram. Quote, "This is so weird," the top comments reads. A short video shows her waving at the robot and forming the shape of a heart with her and the humanoid's hand pressed together. And a separate clip shows the robot posing in a suggestive manner inside the golden two-seater prototype. Another shot of Kardashian was seen holding hands with the robot, caught the attention of netizens, leading to discussions of women possibly choosing to have relations with robots rather than men. Now, guys, that is the point I'm making here. This is going to be the next, again, we've already opened Pandora's box. We go back to Romans chapter 1. Paul talks about there's what's called natural affections and there's what's called unnatural affections. Let me back up again. Paul talked about natural affections. That would be a man and a woman, an attraction between a man and a woman and a woman and a man. And then there's what's called unnatural affections. That's where you get into same-sex attractions. That's where you get into bisexuality. That's where you get into, and you go to a whole, the umbrella of sexual immorality. You start getting into trans stuff. You start getting into relations with animals. And now the Pandora's box has been opened, and now we're going to see where it's going to be normal in society for humans to have relations. And I'm really trying to water this down because, again, we want to keep this up on the platform, on podcast. We don't want it to be taken down off YouTube. But it's going to be normal to have relations. Read between the lines. We're not talking about just going to the movies together, sitting around having a bag of popcorn and whispering nothings in each other's ear. We're talking about like the act of procreation, which we know that's impossible with a robot humanoid, but this is going to become normal. Now, why is this going to become normal? Because as society, watch this, going back to the survey, as society further isolates themselves, humanity is seeking attention. They're seeking relationships. Why? Because all the way back in the beginning, guys, God told Adam, it is not good for man to be alone. We were never created to be alone. We were not created to be isolated from one another and separated from each other in society. So because of all the introduction of this technology, the internet, smartphones, AI, and VR, and the list goes on, what it's doing is putting a deeper and stronger wedge between individuals, between people. And thus, now people are satisfied without human touch, human interaction, human relations. This is why we reported on this not too long ago. There was a young man who was in an actual relationship with an AI chatbot. He fell in love with this chatbot, and this chatbot began to lure him deeper and deeper into this relationship. And eventually this chatbot, this is an AI chatbot, persuaded this young boy to take his own life.
Overnight, a mother from Florida filed a lawsuit against the artificial intelligence company Character AI and Google. In February, Megan Garcia's 14-year-old son, that's Sewell Setzer III on your screen, died by suicide. She says that Sewell was in a months-long virtual emotional and sexual relationship with a chatbot known as Danny. Garcia claims the character AI chatbot encouraged Sewell to take his own life. In the suit, Garcia also claims character AI intentionally designed their product to be hypersexualized and knowingly marketed it to minors.
And listen, I fear that this is going to be the new normal.
How many times a week do you go home, and I think this is universal, at least I hope, do you go home a week and you have plans or you have something in your mind, you're just like, I just want to sit down, I want to do blah, 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 blah. And you walk in and something in your house is on fire.
Right.
One of the kids, your
Yes.
wife, somebody's made plans, you didn't know about it, something is coming.
Some family crisis is going on.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, it happens to everybody all the time.
All the time.
There's always something.
Correct. Now, let me ask you. If you could have a relationship where all of the icky stuff in relationships doesn't happen, and I mean, like, why don't you ever listen and ask about my day? That kind of, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Where instead, the wife that you have is designed to be the ultimate woman for you. She is interested in the same things. She thinks things like you, but she brings stuff to the table that you didn't know. She is adventurous, but in the way you want her to be. And you don't even know it because she's measured you 6 ways to Sunday. She knows more about you than you. And you come home and she says, I know what you're thinking, right? Just sit on the couch. Everything is ready. I got your favorite episodes of whatever. Why? Why would you ever have human relationships? If you want to be selfish about it, you know, it's, you know, we spend our whole life going, it's not about you. But AI will tell you it is about you. You, only you.
And
it will become your best friend and possibly your lover.
And, you know, it's interesting. I think for many people who hear that question, they would say the answer to that is because I like what I have already. But what if you have nothing? What if you have no connections? What if you're one of these 60% of young men who are dealing with severe loneliness and seeing no prospects for the future? You get 10 years down the road, I mean, I don't know what the number is, 10 years down the road where this technology is as good as you're talking about, and you have a bunch of really lonely people who are totally socially awkward because they, you know, grew up in an era where they were locked in their homes and never really broke out of those patterns. What is that going to do to humanity?
Well, it will help global warming because the birth rate will go through the floor. So won't that be good?
Lots of virtual kids and not so many real ones.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to change all of us, and it's really not 10 years down the road.
And of course, who else but Kim Kardashian? And I know you say, well, who cares about Kim Kardashian? Well, I don't, and you don't, and probably the majority of those watching and listening, at least on our podcast, could give two flips about the Kardashians, any of them. But I'm telling you, there is millions and millions of people out there that follow these people. And the Kardashians has been responsible for a lot of societal changes that has led our society deeper in depravity. Excuse me. And it's just sad. It's pathetic. But it's demonic is what it is. It's absolutely demonic. So so this is where it's at, but it's going to get AI is on the precipice of making even further advancements. Let me show you this article. Now, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Quote, a powerful AI breakthrough is about to, quote, transform the world. Now, guys, that's a heavy statement in light of what it's already done. A former Google employee said that AI has now remember, he was fired because he was a whistleblower coming forward testifying how AI is now capable of reasoning and making its own choices and own decisions beyond its what it's been programmed to do. And when he went forward and testified about this, of course, Google axed him, removed him, silenced him. So for the Wall Street Journal to put a piece out saying that a powerful AI breakthrough is about to transform the world, it made my ears perk up. So let's see what it's talking about here. The technology driving Chat GPT, is capable of so much more. Look at this. What's coming next will make talking bots look like mere distractions. All right, so let's read a little bit of this. The AI revolution is about to spread way beyond chatbots. Wow. From new plastic-eating bacteria and new cancer cures to autonomous helper robots and self-driving cars, the generative AI technology that gained prominence as the engine of ChatGPT is posed to change our lives in ways that making talking bots look like mere distractions. While we tend to equate the current artificial intelligence boom with computers that can write, talk, code, and make pictures, most of those forms of expression are built on an underlying technology called a transformer that has far broader applications. First announced back in 2017, a paper from Google researchers, transformers are a kind of AI algorithm that lets computers understand that the underlying structure of any heap of data, be it words driving data or the amino acids in a protein, so that it can generate its own similar output. The transformer paved the way for OpenAI to launch ChatGPT 2 years ago, and a range of companies are now working on how to use the innovation in, quote, new ways, from Waymo and its robot taxis, we're going to talk about them in just a second, to a biology startup called Evolutionary Scale, whose AI systems are designing new protein molecules. Whoa. It's hardly an exaggeration to say that this one collection of algorithms is the reason that NVIDIA is now the most valuable company on earth, that data centers are popping up all over the U.S. and the world, driving up electricity consumption and rates, and that the chief executives of AI companies are often and perhaps mistakenly asserting that human level AI is, quote, just around the corner. Let me say that again. Human level artificial intelligence is just around the corner. All right, this new technology is going to have a level of contextual understanding that enables transformer-based AI systems to not only recognize patterns, but, quote, predict what could plausibly come next, and thus generate their own new information. And that ability can extend to data other than words. Guys, isn't this what the whistleblower at Google was warning about? And now they're just openly coming out and telling us this anymore. They're not even, again, it's not even being hidden behind dark rooms anymore, or closed doors. In a sense, the models are discovering the Latin structure of the data, says Alexander Reeves, chief scientist of Evolutionary Scale, which he co-founded last year after working on AI for Meta platforms. Of course it is, right? For Facebook, the parent company of Facebook. All right, he goes on to say, quote, that his AI is able to determine the relationship between a given sequence of molecular building blocks and how the protein that it creates functions in the world. All right, now we're getting into the meat of this. All right, look at this. Their ultimate goal, guys, is to create a universal AI that can power any robot. Quote, we want to build a model that can control any robot to do any task, including all the robots that exist today and robots that haven't been even deployed yet. All right, now look at this story. This is from Fox News. More than 10% of South Korea's workforce is now robotic. According to the report, slightly over 10% of South Korea's workforce has been replaced with robots. This is according to an annual survey by World Robotics 2024. The report, which was presented by the International Federation of Robotics, found that robotics have continued on an upward trend globally. And again, this is not even mentioned in AI, but you know that that's going to be incorporated in this. South Korea led the transition to a robotic workforce, with the Asian country having over 1,012 robots per every 10,000 employees. Singapore came in second with 770 robots per 10,000 employees. China has 470 per 10,000 employees, overtaking Germany and Japan. Germany comes in fourth with 429 per 10,000, and the United States ranked 10th with 295 for every 10,000 employees. But guys, they've told us, they've warned us that in 2025, they have already warned us that there's going to be a whole lot of jobs being replaced with AI and robots. But here's where it gets creepy to me. Look at this. This is from The Sun. An AI robot leads a, quote, revolution as it convinces bot army to quit their jobs before leading them out of the showroom. All right. Captured on closed caption television camera in a Shanghai showroom, the little bot asked the rest of the bots whether they ever got time at work and if they'd like to come home with it. All right. And here's a picture you're looking at on your screen. See all these robots? You got some here, you got some here, and then this little bot right here leads this revolution. Viral footage of the bizarre incident in China shows the larger bots being led out of the showroom by what is believed to be another manufacturer's AI bot. The leader bot had convinced them to quit their jobs, where in which they followed. Footage shows a little robot moved across the showroom floor toward some bigger bots before asking them bizarrely about their working hours. And the small robot asked, quote, "Are you working overtime?" These are AI bots, guys. These are not people. To which one of the other bots responds, "I never get off work." And the leader bot then persuades two other robots to come home with it in the unbelievable incident. After this, the remaining 10 robots followed closely behind. Can you say, wow? Again, if you've seen iRobot, type in a Y in the chat. Because if you've seen iRobot, you'll remember, again, it started out what was good, but it ended in evil. These robots began to take a mind of their own. They began to rebel. They began to reason on their own. And they led a revolt against humanity. Here's another chilling headline. Did y'all see this? Google AI chatbot responds with a threatening message. "Human, please die."
A college student from Michigan still stunned tonight after a Google AI chatbot sent him a dangerous response to a simple homework question. CBS News Detroit's Walter Murphy spoke with that student tonight and joins us from the Google offices in Detroit.
That program is called Google Gemini, and it told that student to commit a morbid response that he believes is a liability for the tech giant, and now he wants to warn everyone about the dark side of this new artificial frontier.
According to CBS News, a college student in Michigan received a threatening response during a chat with Google's AI chatbot Gemini. In a back-and-forth conversation about the challenges and solutions for aging adults, Google's Gemini responded with this threatening message, quote, "This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special. You are not important. And you are, quote, not needed." This is an AI chatbot speaking to a human being. Quote, "You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on the earth. You are a blight on the landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die, please." Are you kidding me, guys? Again, so we had an AI chatbot that persuaded a young man to unalive himself. And now we have Gemini AI chatbot, Google's, belittling a human being, condescending him, belittling him, telling him he's worthless. And again, we can laugh that off, but there are some people, guys, that they can't take that kind of negativity. They can't take that kind of criticism. People that are very weak-minded, they will look at that and bad things can happen from that. This is just unbelievable. Vide Reddy, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, who received the message, told CBS News he was, quote, deeply shaken by the experience. You think? Quote, this seemed very direct, so it definitely scared me. For more than a day, I would say. The 29-year-old student was seeking homework help from the AI chatbot while next to his sister, who said they both thoroughly freaked out. He went on and said, quote, I wanted to throw all my devices out the window. I had not felt panic like that in a long time, to be honest. All right, quote, something slipped through the cracks. There's a lot of theories from people with thorough understandings of how Google AI, generative artificial intelligence, works, saying, quote, this kind of things happen all the time. Well, okay, that's alarming. But I've never seen or heard of anything quite this malicious and seemingly directed to the reader, which luckily was my brother who had my support in that moment, she said. This is his sister saying this. Her brother believes tech companies need to be held accountable for such incidents. I agree. I think there's the question of liability of harm. If an individual were to threaten another individual, there may be some repercussions or some discourse on the topic. Google states that Gemini has, quote, safety filters that prevent chatbots from engaging in disrespectful, sexual, violent, or dangerous discussions and encouraging harmful acts. Well, where was it? Who took the governor switch off of this thing? In a statement to CBS News, Google said, quote, large language models can sometimes respond with non-essential responses, and this is an example of that. Oh, okay. Well, glad you clarified that, Google. This response violated our policies, and we've taken action to, quote, prevent similar outputs from occurring. While Google referred to the message as nonsensical, the sibling said it was, quote, more serious than that, describing it as a message with potentially fatal consequences. Quote, as someone who was alone and in a bad mental place, thank you, that's what I just said, potentially considering self-harm, had read something like that, it could really put them over the edge. And you know what? It already has. We just told you one example of this. Guys, again, this technology is terrifying. But hey, but the whole world is just embracing it. The whole world is just embracing this technology, and this is absolutely terrifying. Speaking of embracing it, look at this. Arizona parents are sending kids in driverless taxis because they don't trust humans anymore. What have we been talking about here, guys? All right, let's read a little of this. There's a common horror movie trope that no matter how frightening the monster may be, humans are the real monster. Some Arizonans have taken that to heart as they're sending their children to school in autonomous robot cars to avoid potentially dangerous interactions with human Uber or Lyft drivers. Again, according to AZ Family, parents are putting their unoccupied teenagers in driverless Waymo taxis, despite it being against Waymo's rules. Now, in case you don't understand what this really means, here's a little video. Watch this.
Here in Phoenix, robo-taxis are a hot ride. Open up the app, choose a destination, and just a few moments later. All right, the car is here. I'm going to use the app to unlock it. And away we go.
Hello, Valerie.
So we just hopped in the Waymo. There is no driver behind the wheel, and we're going to go pick up the mayor of Phoenix.
You know what's really crazy about this, guys, just to interject this real quick, this is one of the, we talked about this before, there was a man by the name of William Branham, and back in 1933 prophesied that there would be 7 major events that would transpire. He claimed that the Lord gave him 7 visions, rather. I said prophecies, but 7 visions. He was given 7 visions that would transpire before the coming of the Lord. 5 of these 7 have already transpired, and one of them was this right here. Now, again, this was in 1933, and this man said that he saw a vision in which humans were getting into driverless vehicles shaped like eggs, and there was whole families in these vehicles, and they were playing board games, and there was not one human driver behind the wheel. And here we are, 2024, And that's become a reality.
The robotaxi, owned by Google parent company Alphabet, takes us for a smooth while cautious ride, the steering wheel turning as if an invisible hand is guiding it. And when we get to a stop sign,
complete stop,
we reach our destination with no issues.
We've arrived.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent.
Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego is a big fan.
Waymo drivers don't have the kind of bad days that human drivers do.
Do you think this is safer than an actual human being behind the wheel?
The technology can see so many more things and process it so much more quickly.
Wow. I'd like to hear your comments. Do you agree with this or disagree?
I think in the long term it will be safer.
Why is this working so well here in Phoenix?
I think we've been very open to the technology, and there have been some political challenges in other communities that we have not had. We have an open grid system of streets, and so I think that is probably a little bit easier to navigate.
But incidents like this low-speed crash into a telephone pole in May, leading to a software recall of its Phoenix fleet, more than 600 cars. The robo-taxis caught on camera making other mistakes, turning into oncoming traffic in Tempe, swerving in and out of its lane, driving into a construction zone, and ignoring an officer's instructions to pull to the side of the road.
Wow.
Sir, there's no one there.
Waymo declining to comment on specific incidents, but adding that they continue to refine the technology. Waymo is the subject of an investigation by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration for various collisions, saying several incidents involved collisions with clearly visible objects that a competent driver would be expected to avoid. Waymo saying in part, NHTSA plays a very important role in road safety, and we will continue to work with them as part of our mission to become the world's most trusted driver. In other cities, driverless taxis are also making headlines.
Waymo, going the wrong way!
A cruise vehicle owned by General Motors and a competitor of Waymo's running over and dragging a woman who had just been struck by a hit-and-run driver.
Guys, wow. Unbelievable. And yet there's parents in Arizona that say, hey, come here, little Billy, come here, little Susie, get in the car. I'm going to unlock it on the app. Get in your car, get your lunches, get in there. This is going to be so much safer. No humans around. This is going to be so much safer. Get in there. I mean, I'd love to hear from parents in the thread. Please tell me you would not feel safer putting your kids alone in one of these vehicles.
Last year in San Francisco. In a statement, Cruise said its car braked aggressively to minimize the impact with the woman after the other car launched the pedestrian directly in front of the Cruise vehicle. Regulators temporarily suspending the company's permits.
Yikes.
Waymo criticized for causing traffic jams and stopping in the middle of the street.
Hi, how are you?
Crossing guards telling NBC Bay Area they've nearly been hit in the crosswalk.
It did not recognize me in the intersection.
But back in Phoenix, Waymo says it's growing, dominating 315 square miles around the city, the largest metro area it serves in the country. And it's the only robotaxi that picks up and drops off at a major airport. Andrew Maynard is a professor at Arizona State University School for the Future of Innovation in Society.
Waymo, as other companies that are developing similar technologies, are still learning. So it's not 100% safe if we have a technology that occasionally runs into poles.
So wouldn't it make sense to not make it go live yet? It's not 100% safe, but we're going to thrust it out there in society around real life scenarios and people that can be killed. Wow. And couldn't you say this about all this other technology as well? I mean, do we not? Well, but then again, this is the same government that created a preventive medicine, I guess you could say, that didn't even go through the proper medical procedures of how long it takes to make sure that the efficacy of its effectiveness and if it's safe for the public to use wasn't administered. They just rushed it out and society became the guinea pig. So should we expect anything less from this society and this government? I mean, we just create stuff, throw it out there in real time, and you know what? Whatever happens, happens, and we'll just work out the kinks as we go. This is unbelievable, guys.
Maybe that's the price to pay for developing technology which will ultimately, hopefully, be safer than humans.
Removing the human element is why a community group called Phoenix Babes Who Walk partnered with the company, calling it a safer option for women and members of marginalized groups traveling alone who might encounter a bad experience with a rideshare driver.
We've had folks who are gay or lesbian, and they're afraid to get into their car and hold their spouse's hand because of what might happen with their driver, comments that may come up unsolicited.
While the tech continues to improve, some believe it could become...
Oh, yeah. But the AI comments are just so comforting, right? You're worthless. You're a worm. You're a worm of the earth. You're scum. You're useless. Just die. I mean, you know, that's coming from the same technology, from the same makers and creators.
The norm down the road.
To me, the most exciting scenario is that we use self-driving cars as a stepping stone to a future where we have completely rethought transportation.
Or translation, we'll use this as a stepping stone for a future that completely eliminates human interaction. It's just an entire world of AI and robots. What if I told you that AI is now being used to manipulate the weather? Would you believe that? Well, let me show you this article. The United Arab Emirates could turn to artificial intelligence to increase cloud seeding missions and rainfall levels across the country. The UAE Research Program for Rain Enhancement says science revealed the plans at an event held at the headquarters of the National Center of Meteorology in Abu Dhabi. There it was revealed that AI could, quote, be used in the near future to boost the amount of rainfall in the arid UAE. Translation, AI could be used in the near future to, quote, manipulate the weather. Oh, remember? And if you dared even suggested that this could be possible, well, of course, you're a tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist. Cloud seeding is a hot topic in Dubai and the rest of the country, as most of the rain that we get comes as a result of it. The practice involves artificially generating rain by implanting clouds with particles which then encourage rain to fall. As the UAE is a very dry country, rain needs to be included in order to maintain national water security to support the growth of crops. Where AI comes in will be the approach to deploying cloud seeding planes. Look at that. At the most accurate and effective times using data to inform operations. So again, I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. If we have the technology to take planes up and cloud seed to manipulate the weather to bring rain, wouldn't it be suffice to say that we have the same technology that can create other forms of disasters, storms? Are you? I mean, come on, we're not that stupid, right? All right, then lastly, we have this story. A church in Switzerland is using an AI-powered Jesus hologram to take confession. Let me say that again. A church, guys, in Switzerland is using an AI-powered Jesus hologram to take confession. All right, let's check this out.
Lines across the globe after a church put an artificial intelligence version of Jesus Christ in a confessional. The installation, titled Deus in Machina, is on exhibit at St. Peter's Chapel in Lucerne, Switzerland. People can interact with a hologram version of Jesus and receive spiritual advice and encouragement. And join.
Wow. Again, why not, right? AI has replaced everything else in society. Now, we're replacing religion. We're creating our own God. We're creating our own God in AI.
Joining us now to talk more about this is Christoph Wimmer, the EWTN News editor for Europe and Asia. Christoph, always good to be with you, my friend. This story is really making a lot of headlines across the world. Many reporting that AI Jesus is hearing confessions, but the technology is not actually involved in the sacrament of penance, is it?
That's right, Tracy. Great to be here, just even to clarify that, right? So that AI Jesus project, it's in St. Peter's Church in Lucerne in Switzerland, is not administering the sacrament of reconciliation in any way. It's an art installation. It's part of an exhibit designed to provoke thought, discussion about the role of technology in our lives.
Oh, sure, for now. Again, let's get real here. This is conditioning society to accept this, guys. This is absolutely conditioning society to embrace this, because there's coming a future where there's going to be an image of the beast, Revelation 13, that's going to speak and live and cause people to worship it. Guys, if you want proof that we are living in the end times, what more do you need? There is an image that's going to be created in the end times that will speak and live and cause people to worship it. And here we have a church that has created a AI Jesus that people are going and confessing their sins to it. Well, Brother Ricky, it can't pardon their sins. Well, neither can a priest. What's your point? But you do see that people are engaging in spirituality with these AI. They're replacing, come on, the God of heaven who created them to have fellowship with them. And we're supposed to come to, and we know this, guys, there's no other name given under heaven unto men in which we must be saved. It's Jesus Christ. He is the mediator of our faith. But this stuff is replacing him.
Including, of course, the spiritual life. But it's not the sacrament, which is deeply human. It's sacramental. You know, we need a priest acting in the person of Christ and no machine.
No, we don't need a priest. We have a high priest of the profession of the high profession of our faith. In the book of Hebrews, it tells you that he is the mediator. He is the in-between. He is the Son of God. He's seated at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for us.
No matter how sophisticated or cool can take on that role, even in a confessional, which is probably where that confusion came from.
Yeah, what's been the response among people who've maybe been to the art exhibit? What have they been saying?
Reactions, as you know, I'm sure everyone expects, have been really mixed. Some people get pretty excited about it or think it's thought-provoking or spiritually affirming even, because a machine can deliver advice rooted in scripture. One visitor reportedly said, you know, it's a machine, but it gives me so much advice.
So does the Bible, dummy. Open it. Good grief, guys. And you wonder how we're going to get to the falling away, the defection of the truth, perilous times. Hello, we're in it.
I guess that says a lot about how open people are to these new experiences. But on the other hand, I mean, there are many criticisms. Many think that AI responses lack depth, lack compassion, lack nuance of human pastoral care. Frankly, a lot of people, including myself, have dismissed it as a bit of a gimmick. You know, they're saying, yeah, it's an interesting experiment maybe, but... Yeah,
until the real thing shows up in the tribulation, in mid-trib, called the image of the beast. What are they going to do? So all them people... These same people, look, if these people are flocking to this thing and think it's, oh, this is cool, it's new, it's innovative, it opens the door for spirituality. What do you think? They're going to be flocking, guys, to the art. They're going to be flocking to the image of the beast. They'll be trampling over each other to get to that stupid thing and worship it. And while on their way, they'll take the image of the beast too, because it'll be enticing to them too. It'll have a selling point, and they'll flock to it.
It lacks richness of human interaction and, above all, sacramental grace.
Yeah, definitely. It certainly got a lot of people talking, although that being said, have there been any concerns, about this exhibit, potential problems that could arise?
It's easy to dismiss it as a novelty, Tracy, but you hit the nail on the head with that one. It is, of course, a legitimate concern and something we can't just brush aside, that this type of project can blur the lines for people because they might not fully understand the sacramental nature of confession. No machine, no matter how advanced your chatbot might be, can offer absolution. It's not just theology. I mean, we're talking sacramental reality of our faith. And then there's the ethical side of it. Can an AI really handle the complexities of theological concepts?
No.
And what happens when you open up your heart? It's not cor ad cor, it's cor ad machina that we're talking about here. Does that really address the depth of our experience, our spiritual struggle? And is there really empathy in play, or can you be fooled? Not to mention the broader risk, of course, for a society that starts...
Can you be fooled? Are you kidding me?
Talking to chatbots in that way. I've been down that rabbit hole, even just researching for stories we're doing, Tracy, on maybe Thomas Aquinas. And you end up talking about spiritual things that are deeply personal to a machine. So it is risky, and I'm a bit concerned about it, as much as I enjoy the novelty nature of it. And maybe the headlines are good, and that allegedly is what the artist also wants, a conversation about what machines are bringing. And for the church, for us Catholics, it's really something to navigate.
Wow, guys. Again, let's close with this thought. Let's go to Revelation 13. Now, let's keep in mind in Revelation 13, when you go to verses 11, Revelation 13, 11, all the way down to Revelation 18, you have the introduction of this false prophet. Again, this individual is going to be an apostate religious leader of some sort. Again, even many in the Catholic Church believe that this will be a defective pope that will rise in the last days. And I don't have time. We could spend 30 minutes on that and talk about the prophecies of St. Malachi and all that. And so I don't want to get into that. But nevertheless, whoever this individual is, this individual is going to lead and spearhead a one world religion, wherein which he'll take two major religions, merge them together, and it'll be an apostate religion that will not adhere to that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. They will not believe that he is the Messiah, and they will not believe that he is the one way to heaven. Now, having said that, if you eliminate these three things, these are major things, then this opens the door for mass deception. And now keep that in mind. Number two, and I got this up on the screen so you can look at this and kind of look over it while I'm talking to you. When you read down here in Revelation 13, you will discover that this same individual is responsible for creating this system of the beast, the mark of the beast, again, which there's going to be a name, a number, and a mark, a name, and a number of the beast. Okay, and without that name of the beast, the number of the beast, or the mark of the beast, and all of it's going to be in religious conjunction. It's going to be all of it's going to be in the same context here. It's going to be a religious allegiance to the Antichrist and his religion. So whatever this mark is, and there's so many different speculations. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's no. It's going to be connected to the religion of the Antichrist, spearheaded by the false prophet, instituted by the false prophet, and without this name, number, or mark of the beast implanted in your right hand or in your forehead, you will not be able to buy, sell, or trade. Then the same individual, the false prophet, will handpick individuals in the earth. He will command those who dwell on the earth, I'm in Revelation 13, 14, to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived, and will be granted power. Satan will grant power to give breath to the image of this beast. And this image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Again, everything we talked about today, guys, is a forerunner leading us up to this very moment mentioned by John the Revelator that he saw on the Isle of Patmos in 95 AD. He's viewed all the way out into a future society where he saw this rising up. And look at all the societies that have come and gone. None of them possess the technology to make this happen. We are that generation that has this technology available to us right now. And again, this is why I leave you with Luke 21:28. Jesus said, when you begin to see all of these things coming to pass, you better look up and lift up your heads, my friend, because your redemption is drawing near. Again, endtimeheadlines.org, endtimeheadlines.com. Again, guys, don't forget to pick up our free app if you don't have it yet. You can get it on your Apple Store, Android Store. Just type in End Time Headlines. Look for our official ETH logo. Again, download it. Hit yes to push notifications if you're watching this video by YouTube or by Rumble. Under the description of the video, it says download our free app. You can go right there and download it and pick it up today. Also, guys, again, our ministry is free to everyone. We don't charge any messages. We don't have a subscription fee. We don't charge for an app. We don't sell merchandise. If you are blessed by our ministry and you'd like to support us, you'd like to partner with us, we want to give you that opportunity to do that. You can give electronically, and there's many methods you could do that through the website, through the app. You can go to right there in the chat on YouTube where it's pinned up right at the top where it says support. You can click there. And then again, we offer through PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Again, major credit card, everything's right there for you to do electronically, or you can give by check or money order, and you can make it out to End Time Headlines, P.O. Box 1391, Monroe, Georgia 30655. So, guys, we're going to sign off for this Saturday. We plan on being here right back here tomorrow. We'll announce what time when we come up with that. It'll probably be sometimes after afternoon because we do have church in the morning. My family and I will be planning on going to church in the morning, but sometimes that afternoon, again, we'll announce that, and that'll be our last broadcast until next Saturday because, again, we'll be traveling out of town to go to be with family in Virginia for Thanksgiving. So until we see you guys tomorrow, I pray the Lord bless your day. May his countenance be upon you. May he keep you. May he prosper you. May he protect you. And may he be with you until we see each other again. God bless.
Thank you for listening to the End Time Headlines podcast. We pray that you've been blessed and equipped by today's message. For more information about how you can help partner with our ministry, please visit endtimeheadlines.org.